is called Jealous Building. Justice, Law and Order Sector. The building where we are is a Jealous Building. And for me, is where I want to put my focus. Number one, we have stated that Uganda Human Rights Commission is actually the gatekeeper of human rights. And as a country, we don't have another Human Rights Commission except this one, headed by Justice Mariam Wangadya. So we will have problems with it, but we will run to it. That's why we are here, Madam Chairperson. But fundamentally, the Justice, Law and Order sector is placed in the same building. Colleagues who may be coming here for the first time, the police is just there. All institutions in the Justice, Law and Order sector are on this building where we are. My appeal, Madam Chairperson, is on the element of human rights education and inculcation, especially in security and military officers. Considering what actually happens, you really wonder whether our officers undergo sufficient training and education in human rights. So since you belong to the jealous sector, you are always together with the judiciary, the police, the army, kindly find space to enjoin these other institutions to respect human rights, especially the army and the police. I know that the Human Rights Commission may have limitations. For example, under the law, you don't investigate matters before court. That we know very well. But that in itself cannot stop you in your in-house meetings from raising some of the human rights issues that are really apparent in the public. For example, Madam Chairperson, what happened to the issue of police summons or court summons? What happened to it? Why would a party leader like the Honorable Lukwago, why should his home be invaded if you want them to go to court? Why would the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi be abducted on the way when these people would have actually been summoned either by police, because the Criminal Procedure Code Act and the Police Act empower the police to summon suspects? Why couldn't the police summon the Honorable Lukwago? Why wouldn't the police summon the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi? If you are not talking about police summons, they also court summons. Once evidence has been gathered, it is taken to court and court summons. Why would we be talking about abductions? And why would the state be at the forefront of abducting its own citizens? So these are issues, Madam Chairperson, that I implore you to engage internally with the different stakeholders. Look at the issue of remanding suspects who bear visible torture marks or who are sick. These ones don't belong to prison. Suspects that bear torture marks, suspects that are sick, don't belong to prisons. They actually belong to the hospital. Again, as you engage in the jail sector internally, could you please appeal to the judiciary that when somebody is arraigned in court and they have torture marks, they should not be remanded to prison. They should be sent to hospital to be treated, because you can actually be a prisoner and hospitalized. We have seen people in prisons on in hospitals on handcuffs, so that we avoid the embarrassment of bringing limping people who have blood-stained shirts in the courts. It's really an embarrassment. So for me, my call on you as a commission, not as an individual, but as a commission, under the Justice, Law and Order sector, you should really be, these are things you should be engaging internally for purposes of avoiding some of the scenarios we are looking at. Finally, is really this entire concept of impunity. As I said, the Uganda Human Rights Commission is a gatekeeper of human rights. But you see, when you look at the impunity happening, Madam Chairperson, as a country, I get very worried. A colleague is talking about Public Order Management Act. Police using this law to stop public meetings. But with the greatest respect, Madam Chairperson, the provisions that police is using to stop public meetings were declared unconstitutional. In fact, when the Honorable Mwanga Chifumbi went to court in Mwanga Chifumbi versus Attorney General, Section 32 was declared unconstitutional. An attempt was made to bring it in the Public Order Management Act. Still, the Constitutional Court nullified it, declared it unconstitutional. So as we speak now, police has no legal basis whatsoever to stop a public meeting on account of permission. But what is happening is that police has arrogated unto itself all the powers. So this issue of impunity is something that must be addressed. We recognize, I have been a member of the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee, where I have interacted with you and your team. We recognize the resource constraints and challenges that the Commission may face. That is recognized, there's no doubt about it. But the public wants to feel the Commission. My colleagues, I know, will tell you, the public perception is that the Commission has not been responsive to the issues of human rights violations. That's the public perception, and I belong to the public. Now, whether they are right or wrong, that is the perception. Now, if we are to collectively make a case for availing resources to the Human Rights Commission, then the public should be at the forefront of making that case. But this public that feels they are not being properly served may not make that case. I want to humbly plead with you, Chairperson and the team, to ensure that you assuage the public perception towards the Human Rights Commission. And I will tell you that as political party leaders, we will be behind you. I know some of the threats you are going through are the threats some of us have received. I know that there are tweets that have been directed against you. There are tweets that have been directed against all of us. These days, there's a statement which is always made. Does your lawyer have a lawyer? A very common statement. Because they will arrest your lawyer today, so your lawyer will also need a lawyer. Okay, so this is happening out there. So I think we could work together for purposes, and I want to commit that as political party leaders, we will offer total support and protection to every Ugandan, to all our institutions, and as we said, we are here because we believe in you, we trust you, and we hope that you have most of the solutions that we have proposed. I thank you.
We have been referring more to government, which I feel that we should widen our scope to the state, because as we are talking today, I think the government is no longer there. Because the government follows the law, the state, its core issue is to keep themselves in power. And as we see now, it is the state operating all the government functions, which we think it is illegal. As we call upon the Human Rights Commission to engage the government to see that the human rights violation is abolished by their state functions. Because you can't say that now, because even the judiciary, where we all, at least our constitution gives us right to go before them if we have some misunderstandings here and there, they are also threatened. Yeah? Recently we have seen the chairperson also, she has been visible fighting for her rights, even where we are. So we think that the government, where we are at this time, we need to work hand in hand to make sure we stabilize the situation which is happening in this country.
To raise an issue which belongs at the very heart of human rights. but is often not captured directly. The Constitution guarantees the right to life, and under Article 22, it also recognizes the special rights, guarantees the right to life under Article 22. The Constitution also recognizes the special rights of children under Article 34 and places a duty upon the state to promote health, food security, and proper nutrition. These provisions must be read together. The right to life is not merely the right not to be unlawfully deprived of life. It must also include the right of every child to develop physically, mentally, and intellectually to his full potential. Today, Uganda has approximately 2 million stunted children under the age of 5. And which counts to about 26% of the children under 5 suffer from stunting. These children are not merely shorter than expected. Stunting permanently impairs brain development, learning ability, health, productivity, and future opportunities. I can quote many sources, but I request people to check their own sources. I used UBOS, but you can check online and determine. I am not holding you on the statistics. Please verify for yourself. So stunting impairs brain development, learning ability, health, productivity, and future opportunity. It silently robs a child of the quality of life that the Constitution seeks to protect. I therefore submit that this is not merely a health or a development issue. It is one of the greatest human rights challenges facing our nation today. If we rightly condemn unlawful detention, torture, and suppression of political freedoms, we must recognize that the silent denial of opportunity suffered by millions of Ugandan children. I speak this with particular regret. I had intended to place before the people of Uganda a comprehensive program to address child malnutrition, stunting, and the wider crisis of human development or human underdevelopment. However, my constitutional right to offer myself as a presidential candidate was interfered with. As a consequence, the people of Uganda were denied the opportunity to hear, debate, and judge those proposals at a national level. When the right of a citizen to stand for public office is unlawfully restricted, it's not only that individuals' rights that are affected. The electorate are deprived of ideas, choices, and solutions. Human rights are diminished not only by suppression of our liberty, but also suppression of peaceful democratic competition and opportunity to present alternative visions for our country's future. I therefore urge the Uganda Human Rights Commission to recognize that protecting the constitutional rights of Ugandans includes protecting every child's right to develop to his or her full potential and protecting every citizen's right to participate fully in the democratic process through which those solutions can be presented.